Hey, brilliant people. So today I'm going to be talking about another book, which is a piece of fiction that can teach you something about your intuition. And this particular book seems almost more relevant for some of what we're going through at the moment. So the book that I want to talk about today, it actually looks at power and what we can do when we have these intuitive skills and the implications of both. So this book, it's set in an historical period, and it really sort of in some ways examines how when the powers that be, when there is another power out there, like you're someone with some of these intuitive or magical skills, that is a power that the political people who are in political power, they can't control that, so they will condemn it unless they can control it. Like the only form of it that they're going to be okay with is ones that they can control. So what is that book? That book is this one, The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. Leigh Bardugo's writing, it's great. And I mean, I know a lot of you might be familiar with the books in her Grishaverse. Personally, I guess I prefer her Ninth House, because that is really looking at, similar to this. It's looking at magic and power and the relationship between the two of them. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this book today is that in this book, the protagonist is a Sephardic Jew, but she's living in Spain during the time of the Inquisition. So the problem is, of course, is that she, like in her family, they have this particular capacity for being able to do magic. But the problem is, of course, is that if that magic is outside the control of the political powers, then those political powers will see it as a threat and they will attempt to suppress it unless they can control it. And so, of course, that's the interesting question, is that, of course, under the Spanish Inquisition, that such skills were seen as, of course, connected with the devil, and so they were just wrong. But of course, without spelling it out, Leigh Bardugo joins the dots that it's like, well, it's not so much wrong, it's just that it's not a power that the political powers have, so they see it as a threat, so they want to get control of it. And of course, we've seen that in history, whether you talk about witch burnings or whether you talk about any time when there's been someone who had a source of power that was outside the political realm. Those in political power would actually try to use it for their own ends, and if they could not do that, they would then make it wrong and outlaw it. And of course, we've seen this so many times in history where faith or a spiritual movement turns into religion, meaning it becomes a political tool. And then you have to ask yourself, if that spiritual movement is now a political tool, is it still working towards the same purpose, the same end as what that spiritual movement was originally all about? So for me, of course, the difference between a political movement is that a political movement is about strengthening something that has been designated as the right thing. Whereas a spiritual movement is really about supporting people to live in their integrity, to be everything that they can be, on the understanding, of course, in the knowledge that who we all really are, well, we're brilliant, and when we are being who we really are, we're living by our genius. And when we all live by our genius, that's actually when the whole of society and all of us have got the best chance to thrive and to remember that we're brilliant.